Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I'm Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 3-day per week, 12 minutes of wisdom podcast. This is day 379 of our trek, and today is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we'll explore for some nuggets of wisdom to help you to grow in wisdom, insight, and understanding. Today, we will dig for these treasures in Proverbs chapter 13. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. By the time that this trek is completed, we will have the extra trim and the front porch painted. We also need to paint the gas lamps in the yard and a table for the front porch. The details for the reunion are coming together, although we will not be able to complete everything that we had planned for. But over the subsequent weeks and months, we will continue to complete the projects on our renovation list. Much to our surprise and enjoyment, after being away for nearly a week, the 2 young hawks have returned. Although we do not see them frequent the nest, they appear to be practicing their calls, their flying, and their hunting abilities. It has been very interesting to watch them this week. Another subject that I find very interesting and useful are the nuggets of wisdom from Proverbs chapter 13. On our trek today, we will explore the first 12 verses in what I am calling Hope Deferred Makes the Heart Sick. So let's dig right in with verse number 1. A wise child accepts a parent's discipline. A mocker refuses to listen to correction. Parents who instruct their children well are those who disciple them. To be able to disciple properly, you must also live your life where lessons are caught as well as taught. Yes, instructing children does require various forms of discipline through the process, but a child who is gaining wisdom will accept this discipline as part of their training for life. On the other hand, a child who is unwise rejects the discipline from a parent. They will mock and ridicule that instruction. Verse number 2. Wise words will win you a good meal, but treacherous people have an appetite for violence. When you are wise, your words will be full of wisdom. This will satisfy the soul like a good meal satisfies hunger. In contrast to this, the unwise and unfaithful person is one who is always seeking to be satisfied, but their hunger is never filled because they seek that which is wrong that cannot bring any lasting satisfaction. Verse number 3. Those who control their tongues will have a long life. Open your mouth can ruin everything. As Solomon points out many times in Proverbs, speaking too much is not wise. If we can learn to speak only when it is appropriate and we have something worthwhile to say, then it will spare us much sorrow and lead to a full and long life. The opposite of this is someone who speaks without thinking or wisdom. They speak too often, and as a result, their lives are full of hardship, both for themselves and for those around them. Verse number 4. Lazy people want much but get little, but those who work hard will prosper. A person who is lazy does not understand the basic principle and the direct correlation between work and prosperity. They desire to have but end up with little. Those who are willing to work hard and not chase fantasies or get-rich schemes will have an abundance of all that they need. One aspect of this concept that many do not understand is that we cannot spend more than we earn. The reason why so many people feel that they must work hard and still do not prosper is that they are living beyond their means. We can get by in life with much less than we realize. If we are disciplined, frugal, and work hard, we will see prosperity follow. It's a basic principle of life. Verse number 5. The godly hates lies, the wicked cause shame and disgrace. As you grow in your faith and become good and godly, you will learn to hate that which God hates. And one of those items are lies. Although lying has seemed so prevalent throughout all of history, we should not lie nor accept lies from others. Those who do not care to live according to God's precepts have no scruples about lying. They will bring shame and disgrace both to them and to those that they impact. Verse number 6. Godliness guards the path of the blameless, but the evil are misled by sin. As you become wiser and adopt qualities in your life that are both good and godly, those attributes will become a guardrail on your path of life to prevent you from slipping, which will allow you to remain blameless. The unwise and the ungodly do not have guardrails in place, and they can easily be led down the wrong path that will lead to sin, destruction, and eventual death. Verse number 7. Some who are poor pretend to be rich. Others who are rich pretend to be poor. This is an interesting aspect of human nature. In many cases, those who do not have an abundance of wealth like to give the impression that they are wealthy. They're willing to go into debt to buy things that they do not need to impress people who do not care. It is never wise to live beyond your means. In contrast to this, there are many who are truly wealthy, but you would never know it by their lifestyles. They live frugal and modest lives that do not reflect their actual financial status. In many of these cases, it is because of their lifestyles that they are able to gain wealth. Verse number 8, the rich can pay a ransom for their lives, but the poor won't even get threatened. Now, there are many advantages to being wealthy, especially if wealth is used to impact others. On the flip side of that, when you are wealthy, the responsibility that comes with being wealthy can also be a trap or a burden. Rich people may feel like this is a ransom on their lives. This is one burden that the poor do not feel because they have so little to give. But keep in mind, this verse does not give anyone an excuse to remain poor. Verse number 9, the life of the godly is full of light and joy, but the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. When we are walking in the light of God's Word and following His precepts, then our life should be filled with that light. We should be overflowing with joy as a natural outgrowth of that light within us. In contrast, those who live without acknowledging God in their lives will increasingly live in darkness, and their life will be without joy. Verse number 10, pride leads to conflict, and those who take advice are wise. Nearly all conflicts and problems in our lives can be boiled down to our pride. One sure sign of pride is the inability to take advice from others. On the other hand, a person with a humble spirit will be willing to take advice and correction, which will lead to gaining additional wisdom. Verse number 11, wealth from get-rich schemes quickly disappears. Wealth from hard work grows over time. We see this problem every day, and we all fall prey to it at times. We want something for nothing. We desire to gain wealth for our own consumption, but are unwilling to invest the time and energy needed to gain it. There never will be a get-rich scheme that works. True wealth is only gained through working hard over an extended period of time. It goes back to the basic analogy of planting and harvesting. There are certain immutable laws that must be followed in life. And verse number 12, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. There are few things more crushing to our spirits than to have hope for something and yet not be able to obtain it. It can literally make us ill. We must have proper hope in the only one who can give us true and lasting joy. As Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 says, but those who trust or hope in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. It is when our true and lasting dreams are fulfilled that we will have the joy and the strength to carry on in all circumstances. We have dug up some great nuggets of wisdom in the first 12 verses of Proverbs chapter 13. Let's consider these truths and then apply them to our lives so that we can live the rich and satisfying life that we are meant to. And in doing so, we will create and live our legacy each day. Our next track will be Philosophy Friday, where we will ponder the constant, predictable patterns of change within the cycles and seasons of life. So encourage your family and friends to join us and then come along with us on Friday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Trek so that each trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And I'd like to ask you to rate and review us on iTunes or Google Play so that others will find out about Wisdom Trek and join us also. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. As we take the trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Friday.